I am Christina Sorrento. I'm the Chief of the Intake and Regulatory Coordination Division, and this is the DRC meeting for 15504 New Hampshire Avenue Retail Shops. Your lead reviewer is Philip Estes, and Sandra is filling in for him today. Thanks for bringing up the plan, Sandra. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded, and I will turn it over to Sandra to highlight any of the major items we should discuss, and then turn it over to the applicant because it's the applicant's meeting, and you can ask any comment or questions you have on the comments you received. Sandra, go ahead.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Christina, for the introduction. I'm Sandra Pereira. I'm the Regulatory Supervisor with the Up County Division, and I'm filling in for Philip Estes, the lead reviewer on this application just today. This is an application for a commercial building on New Hampshire Avenue. And we had a number of comments that we were hoping to discuss today, mainly related to layout. So as part of our recommendations, which were also shared with the applicant at the time of concept plan application, we really wanted to see the building, the proposed building, moved forward towards New Hampshire Avenue, so that the parking, instead of being between the building and New Hampshire Avenue, the parking then goes to the back, wraps around the side and the back of the building. This improves building presence on the street and really highlights, prioritizes building frontage and pedestrian environment. This is also a similar layout to what was approved next door, just on this property to the right of the subject property. And let me share here on the screen real quick a sketch that we had prepared. So this sketch is illustrating the recommendations and comments that we provided. Essentially, you see the building moving forward, the parking to the side and the rear of the property, and then also we are highlighting interconnectivity between the two properties. Just because this property to the right has also provided a easement for future connectivity between the parking areas. This is really important since New Hampshire Avenue is a state road, and we're trying to minimize curb cuts on New Hampshire as much as possible. So I'll turn it over to the applicant and let you ask any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Sandra. It's Patrick O'Neill. I'm an attorney at Lurch, Early & Brewer. On behalf of the applicant here with me, we have the engineer who I'm sure most of you know, if not everyone, Asko Milokovic, and I know I'm butchering the name, but hopefully it's understood who I'm referring to. Also, on behalf of the owner of the property is Sharjeel Ahmad and Niaz Butt, who have been working with us on putting the plan together. So appreciate the time, as always, to kind of evaluate and understand better the comments. And I think our first question or effort to seek some clarification is that we note several incompletes that are identified in the staff, in the initial section, identifying which staff people have weighed in from which sections. And in some instances, I think the incomplete is in reference to the plan being incomplete. And in others, I think it is in reference to staff not having made comments and that their lack of comments is identified as incomplete. So could someone just identify how that works on that first sheet in terms of comments and what that incomplete means?
So incomplete can mean just that somebody forgot to check the button to close out the task. So that
Okay.
it can be as simple as that, or it can be that somebody just didn't have anything to say, and so they didn't input any comments.
Okay. So someone like State Highway Administration had no comments, so incomplete was their comment. But let me phrase it differently. Have all the agencies weighed in as expected here, or have some not weighed in?
I'll leave that to Sandra.
Yeah, I don't think we heard from SHI, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to pull up. Are you looking at the comment sheet that Christina sent you, or Neil sent you? Is that where you're seeing the sort of report with the
Yes.
incompletes and not incompletes?
Yeah, from project docs.
Okay, let me see if I can pull that up so that I can look at the same thing you're looking at, and answer any questions. Are there other ones that you had questions on? Because I mean, all the agencies should be on the call here, so we can check with them real quick. Did you mean to complete the comments?
So yeah, the I'm looking at the sheet, so I'll go through the ones that have been identified incomplete. That's area environmental, which had comments, so I'm assuming that was a check the box issue there.
I was on leave and didn't have a chance to check the box at the deadline to click it over as complete.
Okay.
But yeah, comments are there and it is complete. It's just I didn't have a chance to click the box on Thursday.
Got it. Good. Okay. So just again, this is all clarification for us. I appreciate that. Area transportation, similar. I think we did receive comments, and that might be a check the box item.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. DPS zoning.
I don't see any
I-
comments.
Yeah, I don't believe that Matt had any comments. This is Melissa Gutos. I'm filling in for Matt today. He's on leave after the holiday, but as far as I know, there were no zoning comments.
And then DPS enforcement, similar.
Yes.
Thank you. Historic preservation. I'm assuming, I'm not aware of any resource there, but just want to make sure we're being thorough.
Yeah, I believe when you see things like that, Patrick, like DPS enforcement or historic preservation, if it's not applicable, they're not looking at it. So.
Okay. And PEPCO was incomplete also.
That's because PEPCO tends not to get involved at this stage.
All right. And then is that similar for Washington Gas and water and wastewater policy?
Washington Gas, that's similar for that. Yes. Water and wastewater policy. Alan usually has comments if there are comments.
Okay. Okay. Again, just want to make sure we're dealing with all the information that's in front of us at once. For the areas of clarification, we're seeking some assistance on number 24, which is area transportation.
Yep, I'm here.
Can you? It just wasn't clear what that comment was. Do you mind taking a quick look at it and helping us understand it?
Yeah, so what I meant was in the future, when that access easement is provided from the left property and the right property, if in any way possible for the driveway to be closed off, so then you would only gain access from either the left or the right property. That's what I meant. Does that make a little bit more sense?
I'm not totally sure because there are essentially three adjacent properties and two of them have easement rights through our property. Are you referring to that, or are you referring to just an operational question?
It more so operational.
Okay.
Yeah. So instead of having one curb cut for one property, then another one, you would all basically just have the same entrance and exit point. So you would just get rid of that entrance point that you have now on New Hampshire.
Okay. Any questions from our team on that? Hearing none, let's keep moving. The second one, number 25, is that's the interconnectivity between properties on either side of this property? Are we understanding that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, and then and we'll work with you on conditions there. I think we're open to it, but they, I think the response would be sort of with permission from the property owner, or that they make the connection at such time as they redevelop their property. So you can imagine that we don't want a future obligation that has expenses associated with it that could have been addressed on the front end. So we'll work with you on that, but that's kind of our approach.
Okay, sounds good.
So Patrick, I have a question for you. So the neighbor to the right of your property got all their approvals and they supposedly are ahead of you to build what they want to build, which is also building with parking on this side. So it would seem to me that you would be able to make this connection here without any issue. Have you had any communication with them, or have you engaged them about
I
this?
have not. Asco, have you? Or Niaz?
Hey, this is Niaz. We have talked to them about, they needed our permission to cut a tree that was on the bordering property. So I do have their contact information. We haven't specifically talked about this, but I think we could work that out as long as they've already, started their work before we get into our parking lot grading and construction. That is for the right side property, not the left side property.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the property on the right-hand side, they should be fully aware about this connectivity and interparcel connectivity. They provided an easement on their property, and this is something that was fully discussed at the time that they came in. So we really would like to see it implemented, and we're here to support you in any way that we can.
Okay.
Please let us know, and if you want us included in any meetings, we'd be happy to participate.
Okay, that's helpful. And if there are similarly worded conditions on both plans, then that should be
Right.
easily done.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This is something that we brought up at concept plan application, I think a year ago when you came in. So we are really hoping to see some progress on this topic. So please let us know how we can help you.
Okay, thank you. The comment that you started with the overview, which is essentially encapsulated in comment 30, which is the from subdivision, Philip Estes, and wanting to relocate the building closer to the front. That has some major design implications and some other practical implications that I think we'll just give an overview today. I don't think we need to discuss it per se, but and a little bit of inconsistency on the adjacency, the interconnectivity that you were wanting from comment 25. So Asco, do you mind just giving an overview of our reaction to that so that we can put on the table and see if the comment still prevails after hearing from us? Asco, are you there? No. I think he's on.
I think I saw him on here.
Is Asco on? Yeah, he is.
He's on, but he's mute.
Asco, are you able to unmute yourself?
I'm not an engineer, but I remember what we discussed. I can kind of talk about it a little bit until he figures out his mic situation.
Sure.
There was
this is Niaz speaking, by the way.
Yeah, this is Niaz. There was some concerns about a few things from a design standpoint. One being the elevation of the sewer, and right now our plan was to have a pit in that parking lot that pumps into the sewer, moving the building closer to the front. Although, personally, just as from an owner's rep standpoint, I would prefer the building to be in the front just for more visibility from New Hampshire Ave. But if it doesn't work for, our sewer system and also our stormwater management system, where some other issues that ASCO had mentioned to us on a previous call, an internal call, that kind of makes it hard for us to do. And he had also mentioned that in his meetings with staff, that interparcel access with the left parcel was something that was heavily desired as well. So we didn't understand, and I did see on the drawing that you put on the screen in the beginning that you kind of had the interparcel access from the rear to the left side. I'm not sure how that would work, but if that's something that is okay to have that future access from the rear on the left parcel. I need to ask his opinion on how we can make the sewer work and how we can make the stormwater management system work. And unless he can figure out how to get on the call here, I don't know if we can discuss it further today.
Mm-hmm.
Asco, did you figure out your mic?
So maybe we'll put a pin on the, oh, there he is.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I heard what all Mia's, so yeah, that's absolutely correct. And one thing that I wanna also bring up, we did look at topography behind the building and how much if we provide connectivity behind the building, how that will impact adjacent property owner from the grading standpoint. And that will absolutely go up, have a really significant impact to the property on the left side. So because it's not a problem to get to the geometry correct, but we have to also look at how that's how topography, how we can make a grading to work. Also, if we push building where it's property shaped up, it's a front, the front of the property is it's a very narrow. It's on the back is wider part, and if we move building forward in order to satisfy 15 feet walkable area to meet fire department requirements, we have to shift building also to the right. Because to make that minimum 15 feet, which, we are losing, parking spaces, and, it just is, it will not be able to meet, those, design or full design requirements, but the main thing is on this one was, how topography work, because behind is pretty steep. And that's that was the main reason putting parking at the front. And then another thing was sewer a connection to the building, because I know the WSSC that we should, when we work with them, they're always trying to encourage an engineer to do a gravity sewer connection instead of pumping, in case that we have pushing forward building forward, then we will not be able to do gravity. We have to do provide pump and portion of and that's to connect with the pressure sewer to the existing sewer along the New Hampshire Avenue. Those were a few things that I that I can say, but that was the main reason where we kept building why we pushed it back, and so, and having connectivity along the front.
Patrick, this is Atul Sharma, assistant to the Deputy Director, Robert Cronenberg. Thank you for flagging all these issues. Our goal here is to create a project that has a consistent frontage along the state road in question, and also make sure that elements of design are reflected in a way that prioritize sort of the human pedestrian on foot experience. Totally understand that there are topographical constraints here. I think a little bit of this is also dependent on what type of a grading strategy your team can take or is willing to take. So this may require a little bit more sort of working session discussion, if I may. And Phil's not here, so I'm really speaking behind Phil here because he'll be the point of contact, and lead the discussions along with Sandra and her team. But we're happy to roll up our sleeves and work with you guys as we do on projects to find a solution that gets the problem solved in a realistic manner. So just wanted to state that, but we are happy to further the discussion. I think we need more time than just today's 30 minutes to arrive there.
Thank you, Atul. And let's our request in following this meeting is to have that to set up that meeting, and we'll reach out to you to get that organized as quickly as possible.
So Patrick, we have a natural work session meeting it would be for next week. It would be scheduled next Tuesday. And so we can schedule you for a meeting then.
Next Tuesday, hopefully. Yeah, let's do that.
But I would need to know who else do you need in the room for this? Do you need DOT or just planning?
I think planning, well, certainly planning, because that's their comment. And I would think area transportation would be helpful. ASCO is do we need fire and rescue?
Yeah, I would prefer Mary to be there for fire.
Fire and rescue.
And do you, since there's a sewer in question here, do you want WSSE to be present in that meeting? Because it sounds like that's also driving the footprint of the building.
I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
We will be there with our project manager that is reviewing the HPA.
I didn't hear that very well. I'm sorry.
So we WSSE will be there with the engineer that is reviewing the HPA.
Okay. Thank you. Good. Okay, I think that appreciate that. Is Christine, is that part of your efforts on streamlining the DRC process to have these meetings set up?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, I love it. Thank you for your leadership on that.
Sure.
So that addresses really the biggest issue so far that's been identified for the project, and we'll start working on it next week. Is the only other clarification I think that was in play, and it's a small one. The side path commentary, we had identified a 10-foot side path that I think needs some labeling upgrades, and DOT had identified an 11-foot side path. I'm just wondering, is that where is that coming from? That not just it's not going to be a problem. I'm just wondering where the 10 to 11 comes from. That would be directed to DOT.
This is Rebecca. I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but I think we can work it out.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like, I don't know if that's a minimum or I'm not exactly sure what's going on. We would probably defer to planning since it's not a county roadway.
So I will say, so for complete streets, it is 11. So that was a typo on my part. It should be 11. Yeah. For the
there you go.
Typology for New Hampshire, since it's a boulevard, the default is 11 feet for a side path. That's my fault.
Okay. All right. Well, so that I think is it from our perspective. Anything else, Niaz or Sharjeel or Asco?
No, I'm okay.
I'm good too. This is Niaz. Thank you.
Terrific. Okay. So you have 4 minutes till your next one.
Patrick, real quick, this is Josh Penn from Up County. Did you have any questions about the environmental comments about redoing the amendment, the variance, or anything like that?
I don't think so at this time. We have to look closer at that variance comment just to see if there's any way to make it work. But yes, that is not unexpected and something I think we can work with.
Great, thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Have a good day, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.